Excel Remote Zone Solutions were tasked with a multi-year project working overseas in the challenging climate of the Falklands Islands, situated in the South Atlantic. The task? To source, prepare, ship and operate a fleet of specialist vehicles and material handling equipment to process waste material for sale on the international market, promoting sustainability and recycling where possible. The logistically challenging and remote nature of the Falkland Islands required Excel to source and procure the most reliable machinery and equipment available on the market. Further to this, extra steps were taken to ensure that all kit was compatible with one another, and rigorous quality control and fail-safe testing was carried out to mock up potentially challenging scenarios in the convenience of Excel's site in the UK. Two containers were loaded with essential spares and repairs, including service kits, tractor, telehandler, and vehicle tires to account for the rugged terrain of the Falklands. As part of shipping laws and due to the vulnerable status of the Falklands ecosystem, all kit had to be thoroughly cleaned and signed off with biocertification prior to shipping. Final service checks were carried out in the final week before loading for deployment to ensure that all equipment would withstand the conditions of its arduous 6-week journey by sea, 7,880 nautical miles to the South Atlantic and only 600 miles from Antarctica. Once itemized and checked, all personal equipment was boxed, labeled, and loaded into two 20-foot ISO containers, including survival suits, advanced PPE, welfare equipment, communications, medical kits, and much more. Once all vehicles had been loaded onto bespoke low loaders spec'd for heavy haulage and oversized loads, the kit was lashed down, chained, and checked before leaving Excel's site in daily convoys for 5 days within the port delivery window. The equipment, including 3 Volvo 38-ton excavators, a Fendt 828 tractor, a Claas telehandler, 4 40-yard roll-on bins, 4 20-foot containers, a service and maintenance van, a personnel welfare van, and 2 hook lift trucks. Once the equipment had arrived on the island via the Falkland Island resupply vessel, personnel flew from RAF Bryce Norton shortly after to unload the kit from the port and set up, ready to commence works. Excel were given an 8-week window in which to carry out the contracted tasks, and spent the first few days setting up a base of operations where cutting works, refueling and maintenance would be carried out. As experts in hazardous wastes, Excel compiled and contained any hazardous arisings and organised their offtake back to the UK for certified disposal. All international waste regulations and legislation was adhered to, with a keen focus on compliance throughout. The scope of work set was to shear, sort, and segregate high-value and high-consequence materials to achieve the best market value for their client on the international market. With experience in managing wastes from current and former conflict zones, Excel's team were no strangers to the challenges associated with these types of environments and materials. Once sorted and cut down to market specification, the team created a coral area in which to accumulate the 7,000 tons of ferrous material. To secure the clean material from contamination or fly tipping, they created a 6-foot-high bund with one single point of access using nearby quarry material. Through the supply of additional mobile equipment, Excel were able to work concurrently with their main team in more remote locations around the islands, with little to no immediate support. This included the demilitarization of specified areas, relocation of containers, and decommissioning of welfare units in high-consequence zones. Due to the nature of the material's origin, Excel periodically surveyed the material throughout the project to ensure that it was free of contamination that would negatively impact its resale value. Through regular compliance surveys, checking for radiation, flammable liquids and explosives, the team were able to ensure that best safe working practices were followed and the team's welfare was protected at all times. Upon successful completion, the team had moved over 7,000 tons of clean ferrous metal and 500 tons of non-ferrous metal, ready for shipping and onward recycling. Additionally, Excel moved 2,000 tons of earth and repurposed approximately 200,000 square feet of environmentally sensitive land, ready for safe reuse.